Hi everybody, it's Kathy here, and I'm joining in with Stretch the Sketch for January. Janet Fritz from Galaxy Girls Creations on YouTube and Facebook has challenged us to use Laura Whitaker's sketch here to stretch it either by expanding or by shrinking, and I am expanding mine into a double layout. So I've chosen my papers because my photos that I'm using are beach photos, and I've gone with the colours that are reflected in the photos and also beachy flavoured, nice and bright for summer. So first of all, I am going to do the triangle part of the sketch, and I'm going to carry that over both sides of the layout. So I need to cut that in half, so I'm using the same paper. I have the two lime green as my bases, as you can see, and I'm going to build my triangles like that. At first I thought I might just reverse the triangle and stretch it up diagonally, but then I decided that no, I'm actually just going to mirror image the page. So I put this one down nice and flat, and because it is a thinner paper, I am doing it one bit at a time so I don't get that ripple in it. And then I will repeat the other side as well, and I use to make sure, like there, I contemplated putting it that way, but I've chose not to. As I said, I've gone with the mirror image. Now I did run out of tape, so I had to go off and get some, and I already adhered that off screen. Now I'm going to put in the two horizontal bars that you see in the sketch, and I've gone with the blue and white dot. It's bringing in some white, which is reflected in my photos, but also to break up the heaviness of the patterns. When I have a really heavy pattern, I like to bring in a softer, more white space one, just to calm the eye down and bring it back under control. Also, it allows you to feature the busier patterns more regularly as well. So I'm then going to put in the second strip of horizontal bar, and I'm using this blue and green floral print, and it's just gorgeous. I love it. And so I'm putting that in. It gives me a really good beachy vibe, these colours, and this pattern just gives me that tropical feel. So I'm putting this one here slightly above, as Laura has in her sketch, and sitting on those spots there at the bottom. So I'm doing this for both pages, and I do apologise that I can't show you both in action at the same time. My workspace is limited just to my work mat. I'm working on building more space, but that should come in the next month or two. So here we go. I'm going to add in the tabs down the bottom, and I pulled out some 6x6 papers in the colours that are reflected in my main papers. Now the script one is a Kaisercraft one, and the green ones are just from a 6x6 pad that I have accumulated somewhere along the line, where I wanted to do a lot of St. Patrick's Day stuff at one stage. So that's why it's all greens, and so I was able to procure those pieces for this layout, and they are a perfect match for the colours in the other papers. So I'm putting down the three tags that Laura has at the bottom of hers, and I'm just putting them in spaced evenly across the bottom, and I repeat that on both sides using the same patterns. That way it allows that continuity across the two pages. And I do those in the same pattern across, so that your eye is not tricked by the heavy patterns. It just flows across. And I do like how all of these are coming together nicely. Now that I have the double done, I'm contemplating the two tag parts that she has at the top. And at first I thought I might go with the script there, but then I saw this scrap on the side of my desk, and I thought that's actually better. It's a nicer blend of all the colours. It's got the blues and the greens and the greys all together. So I've chosen to use that to create my tag out the top that Laura has on hers. I used a border punch down the bottom to create that strip to run along the bottom of this layout, and that then finishes off those panels beautifully, joining them nicely. Now these photos were taken of my daughter. She is always a great model for me. She'll stop and pose no matter where we are. And we were exploring the coastline down in Wollongong. We always go to the same beaches when we go down there, so this day we decided that we would trial different beaches. We actually went to multiple beaches in the one day, and these are photos from 3 of the beaches that we went to. We found one that we can take Ivy with us to, which is great. And also we found other ones that had interesting rock pools, plus a surf pool and all those sorts of things. So they're going to make our summer adventures so much better when I am better, that is. And I'm sure that will come through February and March, as we still have our hot weather to come, really. And that's usually when it comes, when I go back to work. So weekends, maybe beach weekends. All right, so I'm just trimming down the dotted paper again, because I wanted to add it up into that top tag just as Laura has got on hers, just that little bit of extra, but also to tie in and break up the colours. So by putting in that dotted paper, I'm carrying it across, because a lot of it does disappear behind the photos, but it allows this continuity across the page, just that subtle hint, and break up all the busyness of all the patterns. Now that I've done that, I fussy cut some of these flowers out of a 3rd patterned paper, which had them all in swirls, and I'm using those as my embellishments for this layout. I'm, as I said, mirror imaging Laura's, and I'm putting them across the both pages. I'm really sorry that you're not seeing it in real life across the double, but in my close-ups at the end you will see the double page together. I've also done some die cuts here. They are swirls and swirly leaves, which I'm tucking in under in the black, and that breaks it up and allows that little extra focus for those clusters. I do like to use my dies, and sometimes I forget to pull them out, but I really need to incorporate them a lot more. And so the swirls always add that little bit extra to your cluster, because they add length and height, and they also allow that continuity. I also think that they reflect like the swirls of the waves of the beach. I'm just popping up a few of these little flowers just to add some depth and some texture to the layout. I have these glittery black puffy alphas, and in our How to Keep with Style this month, the focus is using up your alphas. So this is a perfect opportunity to use some of these up. And I'm going to call this One Girl, 3 Beaches. And I'm just going to pop that on this side, the One Girl part. And then I'm going to put 3 Beaches on the other side. And that's carrying the title across the 2 pages. So I've pretty much stretched it exactly by mirror imaging it. I like the layout, how it's coming together. It is a really beachy feel. And it's 6 photos now in an album, which is amazing. And as you can see, the colours from the photos are reflected in the colours on the paper, and that is how the photos are still able to pop up off that page, despite the patterns that are on there. And I really do like how this is coming together. Almost made it through without a coughing fit, so I'm sorry. Lily always is open for a pose. This day we were at the beaches, and she'd had a bit of a suntan burst from work that week, but decided that she needed to cover up a little bit, so she wore her favourite flannel, which is very funny on the beach. But at times it would slip, so instead of just having her tradie suntan on her arms, she now has a shoulder suntan where it was slipping down and burning her on the shoulder. And we laugh about how patchy she is, because with her pigmentosa on her legs, she's always patchy anyway, and now she's just patchy from tanning. So I've just added in some Vicky Booten butterflies there. Sorry about my throat. I'm trying to keep going. And I'm just popping up those extra flowers to give that dimension. And I do like that I keep all these extra offcuts from my papers, like these Vicky Booten butterflies, because they're extra little bit of embellishing that you can just add without too much thought, but they fit in and marry nicely with your layouts. So I've as I said, married all of the embellishments across the layout. It is covering both sides. Oh, I am so sorry about my voice. I just had a terrible coughing fit and now it's just really gone. So I'll try and get through the rest of this without too much more. And because I have the two top and bottom clusters on both sides, I've added that butterfly in the middle there just to make the fifth, because odds are natural in nature, odds are natural for your eye, and I just always like to have the odd elements on my pages. So I'm just adding in some ink splatters at the top just for that final little bit of interest. And now I'm adding in these blue pops of colour. And someone asked how I got them so flat. The way I get them flat is by flicking directly underneath my layout, exactly where the pops of colours are sitting. And if you flick hard enough with your fingers underneath, they flatten right out and they look like enamel dots. So there's my layout. I've taken that sketch, I've stretched it across 2 pages, a double layout, which is pretty unusual for me. I have worked this one. I love how it came together. The colours are just stunning, and as you can see, there's some bridging, there's some detail, there's some depth, and there's some shadowing, and all of those things add to the complexity of the layout, but also add to the visual stimulus that is this great double of my daughter. I used a white pen there to write the name of the beaches onto the photos, and that's how it came together. Down below you'll find the full list of people playing along. Go and leave them some love. They will have done some amazing layouts. I'm looking forward to watching all of them. Thank you, Janet, for pulling this together for us every month. It is a great inspiration. I really do appreciate all my subscribers who keep coming back. And if you're new to my channel, I hope I've done something to keep you coming back again. Thanks for your comments. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Here's my next video recommendation for you. Happy scrapping until next time. See you real soon.